Yo, yo, what's going on, YouTube? Big D up in the house here. Need to make sure my audio is working okay. Didn't have anybody to test with. Make sure we got some audio. You guys give me some feedback. Not negative feedback, positive feedback. Is it working? Hello, can you go? I don't think I have the audio working here. Yo, yo, sounds good. All right, so let's switch back over. I'm starting tonight by myself, fellas, because Brother Rob is stuck at work. But before we get too far, I want to give a big shout out and thanks to Jason Zemer. Thank you for the super chat. His first real sub was a 1990 M&M Godfather 15 run off an Autotech 7050 50-watt subwoofer amplifier on a 15-inch sub. That's pretty cool, pretty old school. So how's everybody doing tonight? Check through the comments here. Yes, sir, Byron. Thank you, sir. I'm glad you hear me. You guys probably do not understand the difficulty I'm having here with my microphones, trying to figure out why I'm getting a buzz sound. And you might have noticed it in some of the older shows. So I've had to switch. I've got USB mics. I've got professional XLR mics. I've got all kind of stuff I'm trying to do to keep the audio level sounding okay. But for right now, I'm just using a little lapel mic that's hooked straight into my Panasonic camera. And Rob really liked it last week and said it sounded good. So I guess we'll go with that for now until I can figure out what's going on with the bad audio. But yeah, before we get started in the show, Rob's going to probably be 15 or 20 minutes late. I want to go over a couple things real quick. And I'm sure most of you guys have heard this, but we'll talk about it for a little bit anyway. Obviously, Coleman from CT Sounds, guys, I'm sure you guys heard he passed away. It was actually a couple weeks ago, but we just found out about it recently. I'm going to share the screen here so you guys can see the post, and I'll zoom in a little bit so you can read it. This is not the post that I made. This is actually the post from one of the partners, and this was supposed to be directly from Coleman's father. It says, with a heavy heart, I announced the passing of my firstborn son, Coleman Thedinger, age 27. His journey included many challenges and struggles. This never took away from his determination to achieve and experience success. CT Sounds brand will continue and will not be closed down. Operations are still up and running smoothly. Pre-orders will be shipped. Please be patient as I'm working tirelessly with our international manufacturers and team to fully understand the ins and outs of the business. Funeral service, 11 a.m. Friday, August 23rd. That's this Friday. St. Anthony of Padua Catholic Church in the Woodlands, Texas. Car audio community is welcome to join. So, yeah, that was actually a pretty big shocker. And of course, the other shocker too was it happening like 2 weeks ago, and we just found out about it. Obviously the family was very shocked. He was only 27 years old. It's, yeah, it's really sad to, whatever happened, you just hate to think of somebody 27 years old, not getting to live out the rest of their life and, do more things they want to do and maybe correct some things they've done and do some new things. It's really too bad. The other thing that I just found when I was doing a little Facebook searching was this Jonathan Patrick deal. Do you guys know who Jonathan Patrick is with Custom Electric Supply? I think I've probably talked about them a little bit in the past because I bought some of the balancers for my Yenlong LTO sales from them. And he announced today that he was let go, but it turns out he put in his 2-week notice to leave CES, and then they said, no, thank you, bye. That happens. I understand. A lot of companies do that. I don't know all the real behind the scenes details. There's been a lot of chatter. There's been a lot of people upset with CES, leaving negative reviews on their website and, saying he was the one who was responsible for the company doing so well. And I mean, I worked with him a couple of times. I needed some things. I sent him a message. He took care of me. But I'm not going to create an opinion on the situation because I don't know both sides and I don't like to get involved in drama like that. I just didn't know if you guys knew what was going on with Jonathan Patrick over at CS, but he did say that he was going to start up his own probably business with alternators and batteries and stuff like that. So keep an eye on that on Facebook and you'll probably see more about it. So what's going on with you guys? It's way back Wednesday. It's 12 volt talk Wednesday. And yeah, I was out last week. I don't like to tell people ahead of time I'll be on vacation, but I was out on vacation last week, a well-deserved, well-needed vacation. Thanks to Rob and that Skip feller for holding things together for us. Appreciate that. Car audio guy. Yes, Coleman and Vince. Thank you. Thank you, car audio guy. Appreciate your support, and you are right. Rockville Sam, you got the game, brother. Thanks for joining us. We got to get it with you guys so we can get you on here because we want to talk. We want to talk to you guys sometime in the future here. So I will follow up with you. Just make sure, look out for my message. I've been a little slack with lining up guests. Rob and I both, we talk about this all the time, but we have families, we have full-time jobs, we have, chores to do. Car audio is our hobby like it is for you guys. Of course, we do videos, we do the 12 volt talk show. We do a lot of stuff. So we try to balance everything. We try not to lean too hard on any part of that because we're balancing so many things. And it's difficult, granted, at times. I mean, trust me, there's days I would rather be making videos and going to work. But until I can make that sustainable, then I'm gonna have to go to work. So that's just how it is. And it's unfortunate, but that's how it is. Some people will be willing to take the plunge. If I was a single guy and didn't have a family and a mortgage and kids, I'd be making videos all day and just dealing with whatever money I make. But, we're grown-ups. We have to make big boy decisions. We have to put on our big boy pants. And, that's just what happens. So, yeah, what Rick says, it's hard for Rob and I to talk about stuff like this because we're not the kind that they're out begging for money or begging for support or anything like that. But honestly, it comes down to the fact of we all have a finite amount of time to do things, right? Rob and I both would love to spend our time making content, making videos for you guys. The fact is, like I said, we have to balance things. But if we had, more people on Patreon, if we had more people supporting us, that would fill in that area, and we could do more of this stuff and possibly go full time. So I'm like at 130,000 YouTube subscribers right now, and a lot of people don't understand, the difference between how many subscribers you have and how much money you make. And I'll give you guys a quick rundown after I thank Rick. Thank you, Rick, for the $1.99. Appreciate your support. And Legends of Car Audio, Brad, appreciate it, man. You are you're too generous here with us, but we appreciate it. Building some Boston Oval subs tonight. Fans kept me away for a few weeks. Man, I understand. It's all good. We appreciate you being here when you can. We understand people just like us have things to do. When you guys can make it, we do appreciate it. Ed from Showtime, $2. Thank you so much. Finish your chores. You're right. I had fun making the video on the Omi, and we got some pretty good feedback from that. I think Ed probably got some people contacting him as well. So hopefully, since he's back from the Sundown show, he's able to get some of those things cranked out so he can make some people happy. Joaquin, man, you guys are, again, man, I feel bad talking about that stuff and kind of feel like I'm begging. I'm not a, you know, I'm not a preacher. I'm not here talking about, feeding my kids and starving and stuff, because that's not how it is. It's really about the community. You guys are great. Thank you, man. We really appreciate everybody who's able to help us out. Understand everybody has bills to pay. Everybody has responsibilities. You know, that's how it is. But we're trying to get there. But I was getting back real quick to the subscribers. So, I've been doing YouTube for over 10 years, and I just recently hit 100,000 subscribers not too long ago. And before I get going, I'm going to put this up there. Fro's House. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for the support. So before I forget what I was going to say, I always wanted to reach that 100,000. Actually, in the beginning, it was like, if I could reach 1,000, that would be super cool. And I got to 1,000. I said, well, man, get to 5,000. That would be crazy. But if I saw I'll never get to 10,000. So I did. I got to 10,000 eventually. And the difference between getting from 0 to 10,000 was literally not as long as getting from 10,000 to 100. So the way YouTube works, you don't make money based on the number of subscribers you have. You make money based on your views being one of the areas. The other one is view time. So the example of that is like the massive audio subwoofer video I had, which did really well. It got over I think it's over 2 million views now. But the problem is people didn't watch it that long. It had a catchy title. It had a huge subwoofer. People clicked it and started watching it, but then they left. So generally speaking, a 2 million view video will make you several $1,000s. But if they don't watch long enough, then, you're not going to make much. But anyway, what I was getting back to is, having 130,000 subscribers is cool. And every time we gain more, it helps out. But it's really not about how many people are subscribed. It's about how many people watch. So how much views your videos have. And you guys can go through channels and see some of them have, a few hundred, a few thousand. Steve Mead will generally get a couple 100,000 on each of his EXOs the same way, several 100,000 views on their videos. And a pretty simple way mathematically to figure out how much somebody makes is for every 1,000 views, they get between $2 and $5. Okay. So 1,000 views, $2 to $5. So think about it. If you get 100,000 views, that would be approximately $2 to $5,000. No, I'm sorry, $200 to $500. So, it's not a tremendous amount, and you have to have a lot of videos. You have to have a lot of content. I've been averaging somewhere between 700,000 and 1.2 million views a month on my channel. EXO gets considerably more than that. Steve Mead gets considerably more than that. But we're pulling in. I'm pulling in pretty decent pocket money. I mean, I'm with the hours I put in, probably not making as much as I would at working at Wendy's or McDonald's or something. But I like this a whole lot better than what I would do if I was working at Wendy's or McDonald's. But it's not about that. It's about building up the content, building up the community, which we're doing, and getting the support of the fans. And that's what we appreciate from you guys, is being there, not only monetarily. It's not all about the money. It's about being there. Like the post I made, what was it, earlier this week, about the guy who just kind of blasted me about, my videos are horrible. I'm a big idiot. I don't know anything. And I mean, part of the reason why I pick on myself in videos is because, leave nobody else reason to do it. But I don't really care anymore. It used to bother me a lot when people would say real mean, negative, hateful things. Anymore, it doesn't bother me. It's just because I know in some cases it's warranted when I say something stupid like get a bolt and a nut mixed up, and some of the things I say, which even going through editing and all the things that we do, you still miss it. And I have people that watch the videos too, and they miss it, and then it's like, it goes live, and all of a sudden, bam! What a big dummy! What a big dummy! But yeah, that's what happens. So Brother Vega is setting up. Car audio guy, you're trying to unlock monetization. Yeah, we can talk. I can give you some more tips, but yeah, you're almost there, I'm sure, with that. Vega is in the house. He will be on here shortly. He had to work late. He, sometimes those things just kind of happen. Jeff, Green Auto Sound. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. I love that truck. Super sweet. But yeah, that's all I had to say about that. Kind of like the Forrest Gump thing, right? So a lot of people wonder, and I think a lot of people may assume, maybe people who don't watch this, because we talk about this occasionally about having real jobs and having other things that we do. People assume a lot of times, I think, especially on a channel that has more than 100,000 views, that, hey, they're making enough money to do this full time. Well, depending on what you do, depending on your gig, like for me, I need to figure out something I can sell. Kind of like what Steve Mead does, where he makes all these fuse blocks and all that really cool stuff, and uses his YouTube fame to help sell products. I don't want to buy old school car audio and sell it, because there's too much to deal with that I just don't want to deal with, because Brad buys a lot of new stuff, new old school stuff, and I'm sure he still has to deal with a lot of stuff that's broken, and surrounds that are bad, and amplifiers that need to be fixed. It's just a lot of hassle. So I want to try to figure out something I can do that will be helpful for the community, be something that you guys want, and something that can help me sustain doing something like this full time. So Jason, you are just killing it tonight. Yep, high five. Welcome to the party. He should be coming in any minute now, and y'all won't have to hear me blabber anymore. So, this is funny, Skip, that you mentioned this, because EXO talked about this, and he talked about this in our interview, and I think he talked about it in yours too. Dollar Shave Club, they actually hit me up, and me being the big dummy I am, I should have taken them up, because it was like a $3,000 or $3,500 sponsorship for one 30-second commercial. And I'm like, I'm the perfect sponsor for Harry's or Dollar Shave Club or whatever.
Yo, 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 yo.
Vega up in the house, just busting in while I'm talking. What's up, dog?
What's going on? I'm back. I'm here.
I've been telling them all kind of stories about you, man. So you're gonna have to redeem yourself for going out with the enemy last week, and sleeping with the enemy. And
oh man, you didn't know, me and Skip on, we already got a side gig.
Yeah,
Side Kicking It podcast.
Yep. Side Kicking It, is that what it's called?
Yeah, I think so. We hadn't discussed further, but
the funny thing is, when I signed on to the YouTube, to the 12 Volt Talk YouTube page, I see the picture of Skip over top of my face, and I see yours, and I'm like, how did he change the little logo? But it was just the one video, but it was still funny.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. So I pretty much went through and had a discussion about YouTube views, and we talked a little bit about Coleman. We talked about Jonathan Patrick. I don't know if you heard about him at CES, but he left CES. Yep. So you saw it.
I'm up on that.
All right. So that's pretty much all I covered. I was able to fill in a few minutes here waiting for you.
Cool, man. So we ready to start this mug up?
We ready to start this mug.
All right. I'm assuming the levels are good.
Let's see what the peeps say. How'd the levels sound, peeps? You sound okay to me. You might be a little bit hotter than me, but I mean, hey,
I can go. I can go. I can't
let's
be.
let's find out. See what they say. What do you guys think? How's the audio levels?
All right, I went down a little. I think we're good.
They say good. Sounds good, Rob.
Cool, man.
Good. All
Awesome.
right. All right. Well, yep, both sound great. All right. Well, I guess I'll kick it off. He a little hot.
For sure. Told you I'm bringing sexy back.
Oh Lord, y'all killing me.
Oh man.
All right, I'll do the countdown here, and we'll start it up.
All right.
5, 4, 3, 2. 12 Volt Talk, episode 56. We're going to talk about subwoofers. What's going on, guys? Derek here from Williston Audio Labs. Up in the house, I'm in the room of the house with the blurry background, but I got my good buddy Rob here from High Five Vega. What's going on, Rob?
Yo, 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 what's going on? I'm here. I'm late. Work sucks, but yeah, I'm here now. Let's talk about subwoofers.
Yeah, boy. We're going to talk about some subwoofers. So, Rob, before you came, the other thing I did is I played a little clip at the beginning and showed off Keith Payne's Toyota Tundra. I don't know if you don't think you ever got to hear that one because that was here in North Carolina, the meet you didn't come to.
Yep, I didn't get a chance to hear that one in person, unfortunately.
Yeah. It was extremely brutal, but the reason I wanted to kind of show that one is obviously because we're going to talk about old school versus new school subs, and I think one of the thoughts about the old Strucker sub is they can't get low, they can't get down, they can't make your body organs move, they just get loud.
Yeah.
What's your experience with those, Rob?
Personal experience, I don't have a much in my system, but I've heard them and they can play low. But if you just throw them in an enclosure, I would say that they probably don't just play low by themselves. You need to do something to the enclosure. You need to design it with that intent to play low, much like I do with the Savard Pro Series 12s that I have in the ISO.
Yeah, and they do a good job of playing low too. The let's see, Keith had three 18-inch strokers in his Tundra, and yeah, I don't remember if he said what they were tuned at, but man, they were putting out some lows. I mean, I'm gonna go back and show the little clip here. I'm gonna do it without sharing the audio though, so you guys can just see it shake and move and shake.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he's getting down. Everything was falling apart.
Yeah, and I think that's more a symptom of the pro style driver in general. It is which, it's basically a home speaker that was a pro speaker that got turned into a legendary subwoofer since the 70s. And that accordion surround is going to limit your X Max. And the FS is a little bit higher on those. So, yeah, you got to do your work if you want to play low.
Yeah, that's one of the questions that came in was from Rockville Sam is what's the FS of the strokers? I don't remember. And I know Ed from Showtime SPL and Spartan Innovations is here. And people keep saying in my videos that it sounds like I say Spartan Innovations, Sparked Innovations. I have to fix that. Yeah, Seth says they can drop to the 20s in the right box. Just takes a lot of airspace. And yeah, Keith had all the airspace he wanted in his Tundra because he used a good portion of the bed for his. But so Rob, kind of, I guess what we're going to talk about tonight was, old school versus new school, because you and I both did videos this week where we were talking about the old school SPL challenge and, some of the requirements and some of the things that we decided to not limit people on. And that was subwoofers, right? We said You got to choose your amp before 2005. You have to fit in between 0 and 500 watts at 4 ohm class. Other than that, do what you want to do. And, we've had a lot of feedback from people saying, oh, you need to use only old school subs. And, you know, that would be really cool if we could. But the problem is, I mean, unless these things have been kept in a climate control environment their whole life, and even if they have been in some cases with the foam surrounds, they're still going to be shot.
Yep.
Speakers that are 20 years old, they're going to be shot. So
And the speakers, they're consumables. They're not. I mean, amps, I guess, with capacitors are too, but the subwoofers themselves, the surrounds, the spiders, if you didn't store them correctly, even if it's temperature controlled, they could sag. There's all kinds of issues using old school subs.
yeah, that's exactly true. And the other thing too, which you know, again, we're doing this for fun. This is not a sanctioned event or anything, and people are going to win thousands of dollars. But people sometimes get really down in the dirt. But they were talking about only using old school subs, and then of course then it was brought up. Well, how do you know they haven't been rebuilt? How do you know they haven't been refoamed? And is a rebuild versus just a refoam? All that stuff. We just did not want to deal with that in any means. But with all that said, I still think it's super cool if there's people out there who have old subs that want to use them.
And that's kind of to our talking points really tonight, like efficiency versus just raw power. Because in theory, if you have good old school subs, you should be able to use that efficiency to your advantage. It should be an advantage for you to use old school subs if everything remains true that you think is true, or that some people think is true, I guess. But that should be an advantage to you already, the fact that you can use old school efficient subs.
So you think that only old school subs are efficient?
No, certainly not. But
Okay.
I'm speaking to the person that has the mind frame of everything should be old school, and old schools before 1990, and everything like that.
Yeah, I think the big thing about it was um, first we wanted to get people to use some of these old amplifiers. That was kind of the genesis of why we decided to do this. But after that, it's like let's just find out what people can do with not much more than 1,000 watts. I mean, I guess there's some classes where if you have a 500-watt amp at 4 ohms, it could potentially be 1,500 watts or so at 1 ohm, and you could be getting, but still, that's still not a whole lot of power compared to the amps we're seeing today that are 10, 12, 15, 30,000 watts.
Yeah. And our buddy Ed says, high sensitivity does not equal efficiency at high SPL in his opinion. And I totally agree with that. But where it does matter is when you only have a 400-watt amp. To me, the efficiency is going to help you there. You're going to be able to drive it a little better with lower power.
Yeah, you've got a lot of yeah. I mean, it's just difficult if you don't have much power and you're trying to push high SPL numbers. You got to have some way to encapsulate, get as much output as you can from that little amount of power. And if it's not efficiency, then build big box. What else are you going to do? The design of the box, T line versus you know bandpass versus 27th order, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, you definitely, if you're trying to go for SPL, you definitely want to mess with a T line. That sounds great, but it's not going to help you in the SPL department, in my experience, anyways.
Sorry, I was hearing it rain outside. I didn't know what. Say, what's that sound? What's coming in?
They're
So,
behind.
what do you think about the cone materials? How they affect the sound of the sub, how they affect the efficiency, the ones they use today versus the ones they used back in the day.
So the weird thing about it is we're basically using the same stuff. The spruce paper pulp, you know, that is probably the most popular cone material out now, out back then. We had aluminum cones back then. Infinity done some. Um, what was that? Pro done some aluminum cones. There was quite a few. We even had carbon fiber, which is popular today as well. back then, Digital Design's done one with carbon fiber. A few other brands did it as well. So it's kind of we're in the same category, really. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty ironic that if you saw the latest video of 80 designs that Hexabase did, he talked about some of the new subwoofers they're coming out with and how they switched from the aluminum cone to the paper cone, treated paper cone. And he talked about the benefits and the reason they did it, and that was interesting to hear. But I used to always think the Alumipro subs, with the aluminum cone and all that, I'm like, man, those are the coolest. And the Velodons were the same way with the aluminum cone. It's like, oh, that's got to be the best kind of
Yeah.
subwoofer there is. But
Until it gets all dented up, and you're like, oh, I should have never got this.
yeah, so you got to be real careful. But I mean, Poly, the Blaupunk subs are
Yeah.
have a polycone and a rubber surround, and those are actually pretty efficient. But you know, again, it all goes into how much you want to pay, what kind of motor is on the subwoofer, um, efficiency. There's a lot of different things, but as far as the surround goes, do you prefer, Rob, a foam surround or a rubber surround? I think I know the answer, but
I I prefer a foam surround because on a newer sub, because the ones I've played with, I like the way that they sound a little bit better than rubber. I've heard it sound good as well, but in my experience, the foam surround's a little more supple, and I like the way it is better. But rubber will last forever. Foam will deteriorate on any sub. It's just a matter of time.
that is true. I think maybe one of the better examples of this is the JL Audio W7, which they've been making since 2000. Is that right? It's been like 17 years,
Something like
19,
that. Yeah.
19 years, almost 20 years. 2000 will be 19. See, dude, I'm like I'm so bad. This has just been a rough week. But yeah, I mean they still use, and a lot of people said, "Oh, can't I replace the foam with rubber?" Well, in most cases, you don't want to because of the design of the speaker. It's not designed, to use one versus. It's designed to use one. If you try to switch it to the other, because a lot of people say, "I want to put a rubber surround there so I never have to replace it again." Well, that's going to mess up the quality, right? It's not
Yeah.
designed for the rubber. They use foam for a reason. Um, and I don't know. I mean, I've heard subs sound good with both rubber and foam, but I would have to say probably since the W7 is still one of my favorite subs, that I'd have to go with the foam
Yeah.
as being my favorite too.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's just maybe it's because we're old school guys, but like you said, they believe it or not, when people are designing subwoofers, they factor in many things like what kind of surrounds goes on there, and maybe you shouldn't paint the cones with a heavy paint. There's all different things to factor in when you're doing that.
Yeah, I was looking through some of the comments there. I didn't mean to go all silent on you and stuff, but you were kind of silent for about 20 minutes, so
Yeah.
I owe you a little bit. um, let's see. What about cone shape? That's the one I saw that Ed mentioned. Old school and SQ uses parabolic cones. Modern big woofers use straight cones. That's an interesting. You know, that was a good topic that was brought up on Everyday Audios. And I don't, Rob, did you see that one where they were talking about it? I think it was Nick from Incriminator was talking about the shape of the cone and how deep it was.
Yeah.
And the deeper it was, the more output it had. And then there were some concerns about volume. Is that really true, or is that just a fallacy? And that's a little bit over my head. That's more of an Ed or you question.
Yeah. I mean, I don't prefer the deep subs. I don't like them. They have extreme travel, but everyone I've used, I can't tell you a scientific reason why, but I just don't like the way they sound. Their response time seems slow to me, and they just they seem clumsy overall. I guess that's the best way I can explain it. But if you're wanting to get loud and play low, I guess maybe that's where you want to be.
Well, I mean, and that's the thing about our competition. This is not a, oh, it sounds great, old school SPL challenge. This is a how much SPL can you get out of your 500 watt or less amplifier. So the thing that I like about it is the creativity that we're going to see, hopefully, and see how people are able to squeeze out, you know, the maximum amount of SPL for the little amount of power they're allowed. But part of this too that's interesting is as I was going through, and I've been doing some research in some older magazines from around 2000 to like 2003 because I was trying to find some stuff on the Nikki 6 amp that I showed off the other day that I got that was brand new in the box. And unfortunately, there was nothing in any of the car audio and electronics. And I'm going to get off just a little bit on a side jag here before we, so just deal with me. Um, we talked with a guy down in Texas last year at the OSS meet, and he was talking about auto sound and security. He used to work at auto sound and security. And so I asked him, I'm like, hey, man, what would y'all do if you tested something that somebody paid for an ad in your magazine and it didn't test well, like an amp? Would you still show it? And he'd be like, no, we wouldn't show it. So the reason I say that is because JVC in all these years, like 2001 all the way up to 2003, they hadn't bought any ads in car audio and electronics because if you go to the back, you flip the page and you can see all the ad index and tells you what
Yeah.
page number. No JVC ads. They did not say a thing about the JVC Nikki 6 amps that were supposed to be, kind of a shocker back then. Hey, this is like the first car audio product with an endorsement of an artist.
Yes.
There
And
was
it
a
was dual.
signature.
They done a rock and rap. Remember they had the Warren G edition as well. So they covered both fields. They didn't do a country one.
Yeah, but it was anyway. It was interesting. I was hoping to find some more things about that. But as I was looking back through, I was noticing, you know, um, a lot of the old school subs and amps and things like that. It's just things, having access to these magazines is great because I'm always looking for something, but then when I go back, I always find something that I forgot, that I wasn't looking for. But yeah, it was a shame that I couldn't find any more about the JVC, but I don't know how I sidetracked to that. What that has to do anything about subwoofers other than old school
They
and
had some.
amplifier.
They had the. Didn't they have Nikki 6 subwoofers? I know they had Warren G subwoofers. I don't know if they had the Nikki 6 or
I
not.
think they just had 3 amps. They had a 4 channel, a 2 channel, and a bigger 2 channel
And I wonder,
amplifier.
did he use those in his ride? I know he didn't because I got a magazine with his ride in there.
57 Chevy. You have that magazine?
I don't know if it's a 57 Chevy.
Because that's the one I found an interview on Facebook that JVC put out in 2001. And it was Nikki Six talking about the amps and how loud the car was, and they needed to have something really powerful.
Yeah.
And but anyway, definitely a side gig with that. But
So what do you think about? I think I might know where You're going to go with this. What do you think about cone area versus motor force? That's a little bit of old school versus new. I kind of have an idea where you might land.
give me 25 18s.
Yeah.
Because
Oh
because
man.
I want my Punch 45 and I want my Series 1 18s with the 20-ounce magnet on them. And yeah, I'm gonna have like a 2 millimeter X Max.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be thumping.
I live that 6 millimeter X Max life. I'm all about it. That's I would say that I don't know that I'm with the cone area anymore. The no replacement for displacement. I'm kind of maybe leaning motor force because power's cheap now and you can do a lot in a small area. I mean, we should we say his name, Mr. Ronnie Smith, does insane things with small, tiny subwoofers. And I'm gonna steal his box design one day. That's my evil plan.
Yeah, he hides that well. I don't know. Did we show this one? You probably showed it as I was going down the rat hole.
No, I didn't. I
Hey
missed.
Jesse, appreciate the support. Infinity Kappa green tins. Oh yeah,
Were
we
those
love.
polychromes? Right.
Um, were they poly or injected molded graphite?
Uh,
IMPP.
that's
Somebody, somebody help us.
that's the Pioneer, right?
I know that's Pioneer, but I thought that the Infinities were injected molded too.
Ah, they could be.
Somebody will help
Could
us
be.
out if I'm wrong. I'm sure.
All right. So on to our next thing here. Now, I think that this is an advancement, but I'm curious what your thoughts. What do you think about ferrite motors versus neo mags?
Well, um, I guess the most simple way to think about this and is, have you ever played around with a neo magnet? Like a couple of them.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you? Yeah. I mean, it goes without saying the magnetism on a neo magnet for the size is absolutely incredible versus the same size of ferrite. So you're getting a lot more. You're getting a lot more magnetism, and um, there's probably a scientific word here that I'm not mentioning, but yeah, I mean, I think there's a reason why those work really good with subwoofers. And now I know not all subwoofers use them; they're very expensive for one thing. We saw Hutchinson obviously uses them, and they have
Yeah.
some brutal subs. Some of the higher end Sundown, some of the higher end name your brand use the Neo. I've never personally used any of those type subs. I can't say. I'm just going on my experience with the actual magnets themselves. What do you think, Rob?
So I have played with quite a few Neos on mids, specifically some Stereo Integrity TM65s. And let me tell you something, man. If you're not careful, you're gonna smash your finger with those things, and once they're together, you're not gonna get them apart. But as far as with the subwoofers, like all things being equal, if the Neo and the Ferrite was the same price, Neo every time because you save weight, it has more force for the amount of space, and I think it's the wave of the future if it can be produced cheaply, and if not, it'll just remain something for the high end subs or Toyota to make a tiny little magnet on a 8 inch or a 6x9 driver and throw in your door.
Yeah, my Honda's got that too. So
Yeah.
Toyota's not the only one doing it. But another side gig here because you and Skip talked last week about me not getting off track at all because I always stay right on the list. So I'm gonna make it a point to throw you off from now on.
I'm good.
Um, Steven Seagal in one of his movies, I think it was Fire Down Under or something. I don't know if you ever saw that one, but at the very end, he talked about the oil companies and about how they had bought all the patents for ways that engines could be made without using oil, like magnets. And it got me thinking, I'm like, man, if you really think about something like a neo magnet and how you could really turn, you could really do things with that based on distances and stuff. And
Yeah.
that seems like that would really work.
Yeah, it
I
would
don't know.
certainly
It's
work.
just
I
a
mean,
thought.
if you think about it, a subwoofer is a motor. A subwoofer is a motor, and it uses a magnet to push a coil through the gap up and down. It's just that's what you're doing. That's like you push a piston in a car by firing gas and compressing it. So
So you're saying that my loud stereo could possibly make my car go faster?
it could save the world, is what I'm saying.
See, people go
Loud
buy more
stereo.
subwoofers, more sound systems in your car. It can make your car go faster, and it could possibly change the world.
Although we're going
See,
to have to do a lot of rare earth mining to get all the materials, so there is some slight disadvantage to the earth, but we're going to
well,
save it another way.
once we storm Area 51, then we're going to figure out where all these aliens come from, and then we can go mine their planet, and it won't have to be rare earth. It can be rare whatever planet they're from.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe we're the evil aliens that are coming to take over another planet at some point, and we're gonna be the one that destroys them.
Could be.
Could be.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can't even decide Coke versus Pepsi. So
No,
I think
I
they're
don't
okay.
drink I don't drink either one anymore, except for the vanilla orange vanilla
Mm.
Coke.
Yeah,
Love it.
I switched to the Coke Zero. So
Oh, can't do it. Can't do that
yeah.
fake stuff. All right. So, what do you think about coil sizes? Is bigger equal better?
Uh, if you're talking about SPL, probably because it's going to handle more heat. If you're talking about subwoofer design in general, it depends on what you're doing. If you're building something that's you want to be fairly efficient and a good all around sub, you can use a smaller coil and get away with it and do very well. Dayton does it quite a bit. And if you want a straight up SPL sub, sometimes even small drivers like Morel uses extremely big coils. They use 3 and maybe even 4-inch coils and 6-inch, mids. So I know for sure they use a 3. I had some 3s with some or some 6s with a 3-inch coil. What do you think about them?
Yeah, there's been a lot of conversation. I've tried to read up and listen to people who are a lot smarter than me on this topic, like Jacob at Sundown and Ed and some of the other people that know a lot about subwoofers. Um, yeah, I think there is a happy medium there between the coil size, the whole suspension, everything on the subwoofer, and how it's going to operate. So going with a 10-inch voice coil on a 12-inch sub, just making it bigger is not gonna help the situation. There's more components that have to go together. They're going to make it sound right. And I know in a lot of cases, some of the manufacturers pretty much max out around 3 inches.
Yeah.
We had the Rockford Fosgate power subs that I have, the old school ones with the chrome basket. They have a 4-inch voice coil, and the funny thing about that is every time I play those on a video, people are like, "Those subs aren't even moving." And if you think about it, I'm a 4-inch coil on a 12-inch sub. I mean, it's got a decent suspension on it, but it does not have a whole lot of X Max. It does not need the X Max, but those subs still get down. They're just not good for flex videos. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't say,
Well, they're good
that
for
bigger.
flexing the outside of your car.
True, true. I wouldn't say the bigger the better for the coil size, but I would say it's a happy medium between the design of the subwoofer and how it's going to work. But yeah, I would be interested to hear what our educated audience has to say too. If anybody has anything to say about that or has any
Yeah.
ideas, and let us know. We'll throw it up here on the screen.
And much like you said, it's probably a point of diminishing returns at some point. Up to a good point is good, and then at some point it ends up being harmful to what you're trying to do.
Yeah, and Ed mentions the shallow mount woofers can use 6 or 7 inch voice coil. They aren't too tall. Large diameter does dissipate heat better. So that's a good comment. Wasn't What was the one at Parts Express? Wasn't it a Timpani or something sub that was like a 15 that had like an 8 or 9 inch voice coil, really big voice coil?
As the expensive one,
Yep.
I I remember that it had a big coil. I can't remember exactly how big it was.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look it up now because I
Yeah.
gotta know.
While you're looking up that big sub, what do you think about precision versus output? I'll kind of on my part while you're looking. To me, you can have a balance, right? And it depends on how you're tuning your system and how you build your enclosure. But if I had to choose one or the other, it'd always be precision. Output is fun to show your friends, to show your system off. That's the fun thing to do. But for my listening, like it's got to be precision. If it cannot perform precisely, I don't want it in the vehicle.
Yeah, I don't think I'll have any disagreement with you on that because, well, again, but we're going back to this whole SPL, old school SPL competition. So when you look into it in that sense, then maybe, hey, I'm going for output,
Yeah,
right? But if I'm a daily driver and I want something that sounds halfway decent, then yeah, I'm gonna make sure I go for precision. The Peerless STW 350F is a 15-inch sub that has a 7.4-inch voice coil.
Wow.
It
Yep.
has 90 millimeters of mechanical excursion.
You said
It's
90 millimeters?
That's what it says, 90 millimeters.
Hmm.
It's 470. I'll share it here so people can see what I'm talking about. You guys see that?
Yeah. So for the audio listeners, he is showing off one massive sub. I can't quite make out the price. Was it 449 or something like that?
470.
470,
I'll
which
zoom
is
in some more.
truly not a bad deal when you look at this subwoofer, man. This thing, what sub does it look like? A popular sub.
That's a good question. I don't know how many spokes it has. It's got a lot. Is that a 10 spoke or more than 10?
Oh man, I don't know.
And
That
I
motor looks crazy too.
yeah, I don't think it has it says an internal magnet assembly, but I don't think it's Neo.
Yeah.
Anyway, again, Robert's got me changing my gears here because I don't change them enough. So 7.4-inch voice coil on a 15-inch sub, 90 millimeters of X Max. That's pretty bad to the bone. We need to get one of those and try it.
Yeah. That thing's serious. I mean, you've got a pretty massive subwoofer that if you're gonna change it up on me, I'm gonna hit you with the dad jokes, kind of
Yeah,
we're just gonna
yep.
swap it out.
See, that's what happens, man. Go a week without me, and things all change.
Everything's been terrible. We're an
So,
upside down world.
your favorite subwoofers of all time? Have you
Um,
got any on the top of your list?
well, I do. One of the first ones is the Rockford Fosgate. I think it's the RFP 12. I can't remember. It's the Punch DVC 12-inch from like the 90s or the late 90s. That's one of my favorite subwoofers of all time. I also like for SPL, I also like the very first edition of the Planet Audio Big Bangs. They were some of the first fat surround subs that I got to use. Another one is the very first Audio Bond. I can't remember the model on it, but it was like the very first Audio Bond that come out, and it was actually the very first subwoofer I seen with a fat surround. And then outside of that, I mean, the Savard Pro Series still to this day is still some of my favorite subwoofers I've ever used. So, what about you?
I'm gonna step back a little bit older school for me. The original Serwin Vega XL series with the red surround, the ones that said they were like 98 dB efficient. Those were always really cool. I enjoyed those and playing around with those. Obviously, the MTX Blue Thunders, that was some of my first subs. But the first time I heard the Kicker Solobaric subs, and I heard 12s, and they were each in a like a 1 cubic foot box, and it was powered by like a Hyphonics Boltar. I could not believe how much output and the quality of the output from those 212s. Those things freaked me out. And if it wasn't for the fact that I saw that advertisement in the magazine that said Phoenix Gold was coming out with that servo sub that they never came out with, I would have probably bought those Solar Barracks that day and probably kept that guy's job because he got let go not long after he showed me his stuff. He won't sell it enough, man. He was showing people his car, but he won't sell it enough. So yeah, that's probably my favorites. I'm
Even the
sure there's
W7?
well, yeah. I mean, if we're talking of all time,
Yeah.
yeah, it's got to be the W7. And granted, I don't have a huge breadth of experience with subwoofers, but the ones that I have used, I will say the W7 is definitely at the top. And that
And
goes way back to when I first heard it, way
oh
back in
yeah.
2002 or whatever.
I wasn't even rich enough to hear one when they come out, so I didn't hear them until they come down in price.
Didn't you have a shop that had them that you could go listen to, or they charge you to get in the door?
No, actually, I was out of the game when they come out, so I didn't hear them until way later.
I was out of the game too. I think the day that I listened to them, I was looking for some 6.5 coaxials for the back of my Nissan Maxima. And when I went in there, we're looking at them, and I saw the sub over there, and it was in an HO box. I'm like, what the heck is that? He's like, oh, you got to hear these. These are brand new, and they've got these new JL Audio amps. I'm like, okay. And he played it, and I'm like, oh my God, that was insane.
I can't believe I left out. I don't know if you remember these. They were the Kicker XPLs with the ribbed surround, the first generation. They had the dust cap was hideous, but those subs sounded sweet, man.
Yeah, I never heard those, but I've seen pictures of them. I know which ones you're talking about.
And remember when Kicker was stubborn and they wouldn't do dual voice coils, and you just had to buy 4 or a 2 ohm sub?
Yep.
That was a nightmare, real nightmare.
Well, it's okay because most of the amps were 2 channel, and
Yeah,
you could bridge
yeah,
them. And
if you had bought 2 dual 4 ohm subs and you end up getting a 225 HCCA, now you got to go in and trade them subs in and get something else.
no, just wire it down, half ohm bridged.
No, you can only go 2 ohms. There are 4 ohm subs. You had to go get the 2 ohm subs.
Oh, I thought, okay, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, you're
yeah.
right.
So, what we've talked about some of them, but what do you think are the most iconic subwoofers that you can remember in from the time we started till now?
I have a few. I would say the Rockford Frosgate Pro Series, original Pro Series from the late '80s, would be up there. Um, I do think the Kicker Solo Barracks should be up there too, just because of yeah, they just really. I know they weren't the first woofer to do that. I think the was the Cadence not the first, or there was another
It,
one. I think
you're
a
talking about the
different.
square.
No, no, no. I'm talking
Oh,
about the round syllabaric, but the way they use the technology to quote unquote, make a isobaric sub and 2 subs into one.
yeah.
I thought there was another brand, but anyway, so I would go Rockford Pro Series original, the Kicker Solobaric, um, obviously the JLW7. Um, here more recently, probably Sundown SA series, and then most recently, probably the Hutchinson, even though I haven't heard him yet.
Yeah.
What do you think?
You covered them pretty much, but in my time, I would say that the MTX 7000 series were one of the big ones. The black gold as well. What would I'm trying to think of it right now. I can't think of the PPI flat piston subwoofer. That was one that, like, when I seen that in Alma Gates Bronco, I was like, dude, a flat subwoofer. I got to check it out with the pancake motors. The JBL, the what is that? The the TTI,
The GTI.
the GTI,
Yep. The
and
GTI 1500, 1800, 1200. Yeah.
yep. And then you already mentioned the Stroker, which obviously was a legend, still is a legend, and it was a legend at home and car audio. And uh, today, like you said, I would say some the Sundown, the Nightshades are probably some of the most iconic ones of today. But there's some outliers like the Ground Zero Nukes, the very first ones. Um, the Adair Brahma, the there was some cheap subs that they were killing at SPL. They were Avalon subs back in the day. So those were pretty popular. That's about all I got.
So Robert Van Hoy here in the chat room mentioned the Aura 1808. I don't know if you remember that one, but that one was an absolute beast. And there's a couple other comments here that I saw that I thought were really good. The MTX Black Gold,
Yep.
the Infinity Beta, and the Boston Acoustics Pro. Yeah, I would go with all those. However, the Boston Acoustic subs, as pretty as they look, and everything about how they look, to me, they did not quite reach the output that I liked. But they did definitely sound really good. They just didn't quite have that kick, enough kick. And I've got several of them here, and the look of them, man, they were the kind of subs you really want to mount in a plexi box so that people could see those subs as they were beautiful. Yep, and the mats, definitely the mats jugs, no doubt.
And I can't believe we didn't once. Those were built formats by Digital Designs, if I remember correctly, and we didn't say Digital Designs. I mean, the 9500, that thing still today, it's a beast.
Yeah, we couldn't say them all, but yeah, I think with the help of the chat room, we covered
Yeah.
most of them.
Oh, here you go. Remember these in Whitey Ford's in his, what do you have, a G Wagon with those in there?
Yeah, this was a little bit after my time, I think.
Yeah, those were killer.
Not that, I'm still not in the same time zone as you or anything, but you know what I mean. Let's see, did anybody else bring up any other ones? Earthquake Holies, the Cadence Wild Beast, Atomic Apocalypse. Yeah, I've seen the Earthquake that Brad's talking about, but I don't know much about the other ones.
Oh no, those weren't legends. The bass tubes, Dr.
Man,
Frankenstein.
back in the day, everybody had to have some bass tubes. What you talking about?
Yeah,
Gotta get started somewhere.
I'd rock a bass tube, but I wouldn't consider it a legend.
Well, the 22-inch jackhammer.
Oh man,
Yeah,
that was a good one. And then, so is there any?
Eminem, whole Eminem Godfather. Sorry, I didn't say that one, but I know that one's on the top of the list for a lot of people.
Yeah, for sure. Is there any brands that aren't around that you wish, speaking of Godfather, that were still around and still made subs?
We've got such a wide selection of subs these days. I can't really say that we're missing anything. Not that I can think of. What about you? I mean, the brands, yes, but the quality and the sound quality and the output and all that, I don't think we're missing anything that we had before and not getting today. Personally,
no, for sure. And you can get the same types. I do miss the style of like the Cove Armageddon subwoofers, and those looked a lot like the first generation Planet Audio Big Bangs. I kind of miss the style of those versus some of the newer stubs, but yeah, I mean, they were, and Ground Zero, the nukes were about the same. Ground Zero's they're a different company now, really, when you start to look at their products versus what they offered back in the day.
it's funny. We didn't mention it here in our little document. I didn't think about it until now, but back in the day, even the freaking cheap brands, right? The Pyramids and the Pals and some of the other ones that you could find at your flea market, people probably didn't realize how good some of those speakers actually were. Because Pyramid made some really good subs. Pile made some really good subs back then. You just had to know which ones to get, right?
Yeah, and we should note that probably 60% of these subs were probably made by Eminence at some point, and Eminence is still a company today. They still make subs, but a lot of those Super Blues and Pile subs were Eminence subs.
And I'll try to remember to leave a video comment below in the video description. But there's a really good kind of a how it's made kind of thing about Eminence, and it shows their factory and shows how they make speakers. That's a really good one to check out. Powell equals Powell. Is that like Spartan Innovations?
Yeah, Spartan Innovation. Oh man.
Oh, the chat room is killing us for those who are listening on audio. You have to join in when you can on the live stream so that you guys can make fun of my North Carolina accent too.
I mean, we're both from the South. I'm sorry. Northern listeners that hate our accents.
It's how it is. He said, got him. Yeah, he definitely got him.
Oh
Yeah, I
man.
can't. I mean, just thinking out loud, Rob, I can't think of any more. I mean, the funny thing is, was it Eminem and Orion both at one time came out and said they had a lifetime warranty on their subwoofers? Didn't
Yep.
they both do that?
Yep.
And
They
then
both
what
did.
happened to them?
The
Hey,
lifetime of the company.
we should. Well, hey, we should. Orion's still around, so we should. We should hit up our contacts over there at Orion and say, look, you
Yeah.
guys promised way back in the day.
Yeah. I still want to rock these XTR3s.
Yep, and trade them up for some of those new HCCAs that weigh like 1,700 pounds a piece.
Heck no. Heck no.
Well, you have to have one of those amps that puts out 20,000 watts to be able
No.
to push it.
That's not my jam, man. I can't do it. I'll listen to your car if it's got it in there, though.
Yeah, I don't want to blow my car into little shreds and pieces personally.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this talk about side jags. I was at Slamley reunion this past week, and I'll have a video coming up of it soon. But I got to demo a Dodge with 6 DC audio 15s, I think it was, on had like 3 8K amps or more. I'm talking, man, this was the cleanest bass I've heard out of a vehicle like that. The doors were popping in and out, but you couldn't hear them. You couldn't hear the doors popping. You couldn't hear rattles anywhere. You just heard loud, clean bass. But I'm gonna tell you what killed me, man. When they cut that up with the mids, it about melt. I think I got tinnitus immediately whenever I with the pro mids, the door full of. I'm not into that scene, man. Like if I demo your car, can you cut them off and I just want to hear the bass.
Yeah, we don't have to try to keep up, right?
Yeah.
We can have 160 dB with the subs, but we don't need 160 dB with the mids. No,
Yeah.
no, thank you.
It will melt your face, man. And then after the demo, usually they'll cut the sub down with the bass knob, and then you're stuck with just the mids. And it's like my ears,
Ah,
my ears
you
hurt.
see, you need to get some ear
Yeah,
protection, man. That's what you
that's what's
need.
getting because this thing played so low. Like the subwoofer bass is not going to hurt your ears, but those mids will get you.
They will got him. Craig Harrison has every Eminem sub ever made. I think you're right.
Of course he does.
He is, and probably a good percentage of the Concept 97 threes too.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
So
this was a good one, a good
who,
discussion. And
before we
we're
sign out, who makes the best subwoofers ever? I put it in the doc for you. I need you to say it today, right now, and just tell everyone who makes the best subs ever. Where should you buy them?
you're asking me
Yeah, easy question, simple question.
who makes the best subs ever. I ain't gonna say Subway because they
Yeah,
ain't
Firehouse
even.
got them beat.
Yeah, Firehouse has got them beat. Um, wow, I'm gonna let you go first.
Jails of our down.
What the heck did you say? You
You
Joseph
heard
on
me.
sundown.
I said that clearly. I said Jails of our down. I don't know. I haven't played with all of them, but those Hutchinson, like you mentioned before, I will have my hands on one of those at some point. Those things look dope, and they're supposed to sound good too.
Nietzsche said it. Funky Pup.
Oh,
Funky Pup are the best of all time.
I'm a Titan, man. I don't mess with the funky pumps.
There's no sorry. There's just no other question. No reason to even bring up anything else.
Yeah. Oh, here you go. Hit that up. He's trying to fund some stuff, man. Yeah.
Ed has got the best subs ever made, the Sundown X15 V1s, and the only place to get them is from him.
Yeah.
So make sure you hit up Showtime SPL, get you some 4 X15 subs.
There's so many good subs out today that you can get good sub like Savard, JL, Sundown makes good subs. I played with a Scar that was really nice. There's just so many good companies and making good subwoofers, or at least putting their name on good subwoofers. So outside of some of the very cheapest stuff, I think you'll be okay. Don't buy Titans. I can't recommend Titans.
It would be a full time gig for somebody to test all the subwoofers out on the market.
Yeah, I've been trying, but I'm slow.
Well, it takes a long time to do it right.
Yeah,
If we could get all these manufacturers to send us subwoofer in an optimal box, we could go through them pretty quickly, right?
yeah, maybe.
Hit us
I
up.
don't know. They keep making me work over. I'm not gonna have no time to do any of this stuff.
Yeah,
Trying to kill me.
I'm gonna have to get T Fate on here next week if you're late.
Oh no, you can get the law called on you.
Man, I saw that they were doing their show on Thursday this week, and I thought about doing a live stream Thursday on mine. I was going to find out when you were going to do your live stream. If you're not doing one this week, I was either going to do one on Thursday or Friday on my channel.
Yep,
But
none for me this week.
okay, well, I'll have to figure it out. I got
Yeah.
some ideas of some things I want to do. If I can fit it in my schedule this week, I'll let everybody know.
Mm.
The new wraps 12,
Yeah.
15, 18s. Oh, Lord. Good stuff.
Heck
Keith
yeah.
Payne. Keith, you
Cool.
might have missed it because you joined later, but we showed your Tundra earlier and your 18-inch strokers.
I know. I still haven't got to hear that. I got to hear
He
it.
was he had it for sale. Do you still have it for sale, Keith, or did you actually sell it, or did you decide against selling it? It'll take him a minute to answer, so we'll keep on. We don't have anything else in our document because I didn't add absolutely anything. You did all the work once again.
But I done it like several months ago, so
Okay, so I don't
so
feel
it
so
doesn't
bad.
count. It doesn't count.
Yeah, I was on vacation. And I got back. I was sick as a dog.
Oh yeah,
So
you told me.
I went back to work Tuesday, but technology has allowed high-end materials to get more into more consumers' hands. Competition in the industry has allowed design to expand greatly. New woofers are better than old. I don't think there's any question that that's a true statement.
Should we end it there with
I
the
mean,
sage words of our buddy Ed?
I think it sounds like a good place to end it, unless you wanted to get in any of your upcoming stuff or
Oh yeah, we can talk about that. So what I got upcoming is I don't know yet. Actually, I'm gonna do some more stuff with old school SPL challenge. But if you notice why I'm late today, we're back to mandatory overtime for work. So I may be sliding in some live streams on Mondays in place of regular videos because it doesn't take me 15 to 20 hours to set up, film, and edit a live video. So you may get 2 edited videos from me a month and 2 live streams a month. So, but I'm doing more with the SPL challenge. We're going to find the frequency of the S10. We're going to build an enclosure for the Rockville subs that perfectly matches that. And if you didn't see, I busted a 137.1 off the Sony 225 or 2252 HX. Just threw the mic in there. Didn't even check mic placement or anything. So my goal is 140. I should be able to hit that pretty easy. What you got coming up?
yeah, I've got a clickbait title video coming out maybe this weekend. I've got an idea of something that kind of hit me that I've heard people talk about, and I thought, man, this will be a good video to make. So I'm going to try it, and it's related to subwoofers. But yeah, that's all I'm going to say about it. But I'm going to try to do that this weekend. I've got other things, unfortunately, that are going to take up some time. But old school SPL challenge. Yeah, I don't know when I'm next going to be able to do anything with that. I think Rob and I were trying to really kick off the community and trying to get people involved so they would join in and do more. I may not do quite as much with that as I did with the $150 challenge, but I will try to do some. There's a few more amps I want to try out for sure, but I'm just not going to have the time to build boxes and all the stuff to try to actually maximize SPL in either one of the vehicles I'm trying it with. So that's where I stand. Yeah, I don't know. I've got some interesting things coming, hopefully video wise, and yeah, just exciting times here in car audio.
Yeah, for sure. We I'm borrowing more amps, so I'm gonna try to run in multiple categories. because being in the Wald class is not helping me. I'm currently in sixth place, but I think I could inch up there. And I know a few of you guys are holding back and you're going to drop it on us right at the end, October. So we'll see what comes of it.
Yep. And speaking of that, so October, and help me with the date, 19th. Is that right, Rob? Saturday the
Yes.
19th
Yes.
is going to be the old school stereo meet down in Ennis, Texas. Is that right? Is it
It's,
Ennis?
it's,
Spring.
it's outside of Ennis. If you didn't ask
Kaufman.
me, nope, it's not Kaufman. Scurry, Texas.
Scurry, Texas.
Yep.
So we'll post up the location. But those who went last year, it's going to be the same location that we went to last year.
Yep.
So looking forward to it. I'm going to try to go down on Thursday, but I may actually be going to Oklahoma and be going to Kicker on Thursday. I'm going to try. I haven't gotten everything ironed out yet for that, but I was going to try to do that before I go down to Texas, but we'll see. But at least I'll be there on the 19th. So if you guys can make it, that will be cool.
Yep.
Gives you a little bit more time to get your scores in. If you have questions about, what works and what doesn't work, or if you're allowed to use this amp or not, check either Rob's video or my video. We have links that'll take you to the Facebook group. It'll take you to oldschoolstereo.com. You can read all the details about the challenge and things you're allowed to do, things you're not allowed to. So thanks everybody for tuning in. And Rob, before you came on, I pretty much begged and pleaded that people help us out. So we got quite a few super chats that came in early, and thanks everybody. Hopefully we got everybody. I'm pretty sure we did. And thank everybody else for joining in. Again, we don't do this for a living, so you guys helping out a little bit, helps us buy some of the things we need for doing this or things we need for making videos, and we do greatly appreciate that. If you're listening to us through the audio podcast, make sure you check us out on Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Pacific. We're on YouTube under the 12 Volt Talk channel, and we usually stream live every Wednesday night. If one of us is not there, we still do it. Like tonight, I started without Rob. Last week, he went without me. And he'll have guest hosts. We got some lined up, hopefully coming up soon. And make sure you check out Hi-Fi Vega on YouTube, and check out Williston Audio Labs on YouTube. See what we got going on. And thanks again.
I wrote down super chats from when I seen, so I'm going to read off those. I don't know if you got the first ones. Our buddy Jason Zemer, Byron Chambliss, Rockville Sam, he needs more gain, Daryl Yoder, and his was Rest in Peace Coleman. I didn't write it down, but I remember. Geoff Green, Auto Sound. I can't remember what he wrote, but he's always in there. Geoff, Jeff. Jesse Strand, Donnie Tuttle, and our buddy Ed coming in the clutch, very last minute. Thank you guys, and let's get into this after chat.
Yep, sounds good. And Brad from Legends of Car Audio, and there were several other ones that I mentioned along the way before you came in. Thanks again to all you guys for helping us out. So we're going to sign out here from the podcast, and we'll stick around. Again, if you're listening to us on the podcast, make sure you check us out on YouTube. You can find a lot of our older content there, and just check us out. Subscribe to us, and we will see you next week. Peace out.
Boom. Oh, man. I didn't even get to eat dinner yet. Can you believe that?
Man.
But this Coke's holding me over. I ate a bag of chips on last break at work. So.
You're killing you, man. You can be hurting. When does your volleyball stuff start up pretty soon, or you got a break from that at all?
Started Tuesday.
Oh,
I worked till 7 Tuesday, and then I got off yesterday, and I watched volleyball until about 8, a little after 8. Then I got up, worked 12 hours today, come to work. Yeah.
Yeah, you can be
wearing that Coke Zero. Sponsored. I wish.
No.
Nicho.
Drink that mess. Thank you, brother.
Timmy D, I build batteries. big network power batteries and motive power batteries for forklifts and all that type of stuff.
It's funny. There's a bunch of comments that all came at once because I had one I was going to post and I can't find it.
Yeah, and plus they delete our oldest ones. You know, you can
Yep,
only go back so far. The Utopia did have the red Neomags, right?
I believe so. Yep.
Yeah. Here we go. Now sponsored by Coke Zero. I wish, man. I
Hey,
like.
they just had a big podcast expo and said there was like 6,000 people there. I was like, man, we should have heard about that. We need to
Yeah,
figure out how to make some sponsorships
we
on
need we
this.
need to need to network.
It's right.
Oh man. Yeah, I figure it seems like they just literally popped this overtime up on us. So I'm gonna have to do some live streams. I've been on a good pace of an edited video every Monday, but I'm gonna have to replace two of them with live streams at least until it's over. Hopefully, it doesn't last too long. That kind of sucks.
Yeah, and the people that don't make videos don't understand the stress involved every week with getting all that stuff together because
Yeah,
we try our best to do one a week and sometimes more than one, and man,
we get our
there's some.
videos out at the last minute every single week.
In fact, the past few weeks for me has been Sunday, and I try my best to do Saturday for my Patreons because they pay to get to see the video early. So in the cases where I can't let the video out early, I just don't charge them for it. I say, look, this is free. You guys get like 2 hours. I try to give them 24 hours, but
Yeah,
sometimes it's like Sunday for me is the best day to release. I know you said Monday for you is the best, but
yeah,
definitely I've noticed Sunday, if I let it go one more day, I get tremendously fewer viewers. I think it's because people are just expecting me to
yep.
release a video on Sunday, even though football is, starting back up now and all that.
You know
I
how we are.
still,
We watch stuff on our phones while we're watching everything else as well.
yep, that's true. Yep, but Sunday definitely for me. Yeah, Matt Stark is in here and he's been killing it.
Yeah,
He's been killing it in the challenge. He's got like I don't know 3 different categories where he's over 150 or something.
yeah. Or he's only 150 in one, but the rest of them are like 149s. He's up there. I appreciate him too because he's helping populate the board for us.
Yeah, yeah, my
Let's see.
stuff is not helping. It's so low. That one score, people are like, I can get that with a 6.5. In a free air. I'm like, I know it was pretty bad.
What was it? One.
31 or 132. Yeah, it
I
was.
might throw the Savard Pro Series 6.5 in the S10. See if I could beat it. That'd be
I'm sure
funny.
you could. Yeah, I'm sure you could.
Um, Jason Zemer, send them to me, man. I still got the other ones I'm gonna use, so that helps out a lot to have some questions.
Yeah, and if you guys have ideas for things for a live stream too, like what would you want to see other than maybe an amp test? Because I know that last time Rob did it was really cool when he used this software here and was able to switch between talking to the camera and having it on his bench. I thought that was a really cool idea, and that's something really neat about this software. You can actually connect your phone and multiple different things and use them as all different sources.
Yep, very cool. And I want to explore that in the future with some more webcams, and we kind of talked about it, so that would be cool. We can do some cool things.
Yeah, that black Lanzar 50C that I have is definitely not as powerful as the blue one that I had, but it really does need to be wired way down.
Yeah, maybe it was meant for that. Uh, the National SPL final. I don't
When
know where
is
that
that,
is.
Donnie? South of the borders in South Carolina. When is that?
Oh, here we go. Keith May, new
Ooh,
Tundra build of the OS. That's nice.
ooh.
We'll be there.
You going to Texas? I guess Texas for him probably is just as close as
Yeah.
here because he's in Alabama, right?
hmm And then what? Oh, so if you go to the meetup page, Bill's kind of running things over there. So he did post for the 19th and the 20th, but Derek and I will only be there the 19th. So if you come the 20th, neither one of us will be there. Although I know you don't want to see me, but most importantly, Derek won't be there on the 20th.
Yeah, it'll just be one day for me.
One day. I got to go back to work
Uh,
Monday.
September 7th and 8th. Matt, was that for the south of the border thing? Or am I missing comments here?
You might. I'm behind.
Oh, there it is. NSPL, September 7th and 8th. Oh, okay. I'll look that up. That's really not that far from me, but the problem is, yeah, it's hard for me to go to any of that stuff on the weekends because
Yeah.
I've got to make my content, and if I go, then I can make it while I'm there, but it's not the same. Like I can't make and then edit all in the same day like I can do when I'm here. So it's just unfortunate, but it's
Yeah.
not that I don't want to go and I don't want to see you guys in person and all that stuff. It's just I can't fit it into my schedule yet.
And I went to the Assembly reunion, and unfortunately, I didn't take as I should have took a lot of video, but I was hanging out with the boy JDR. Rick Quattlebaum come up, and we got to hang out for a while. We got to watch a little Lowrider Limbo, and yeah, we had a blast. But I didn't get a whole lot of video. I am gonna put something together and put it out for you guys. So I'm working on the edit now. That was pretty fun.
Robert, it's funny you say that because I don't think anywhere in our rules do we say it has to be a car audio amplifier. We probably need to maybe update that. You can use your pro amp, but probably not for our competition. But we do need to kind of make sure that we say it's a 12 volt or 10 to 16 volt.
Oh man.
Trying to breaking the law, breaking the rules, breaking the law.
Timmy D, no sweat, bro. Thanks for watching.
Donnie. Oh, I missed it again. Donnie went to Sundown.
Oh, that would have been fun.
Yeah, and see, I hate to even say how close I was to that, but we were coming back that day, and there was no way I could have got my family
Yeah.
to go. We were 4 hours from home from the mountains,
What
and
you know what I did think about when we do spring meet again? It'd be cool if I could come up early or stay late and we could visit Sundown. Like drive to Sundown. That'd be fun.
yeah, I don't know if they'll let me in, but
Well, I mean, don't talk trash.
I didn't talk trash. I responded
Uh,
to trash being talked. That's all I did. I didn't talk trash. There's two different ways of describing that. Hey, but everybody should be really happy now because their new amps are rated at 12 volts. Not to say
yeah.
that I had anything to do with that, but
Big D had everything to do with it. Trademark.
it's a good thing, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah, for sure. And it seems like they're doing overrated now.
Yeah, quite a bit overrated.
Yeah. Which people are going to be mad about that, like they were with the Orion. So,
Yep, that's right. Blame Big D.
yeah.
Hashtag.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to use that. Blame Big D. I like that.
Yeah, that could be used in so many ways.
Like Texas got raised up. Blame Big D. Yeah, yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah,
Rick.
and Rob, I didn't say it in my video, which I probably should have about the old school SPL challenge is about getting these local shops involved so that they can get more people to come by and meter their cars and whatever. Probably have to talk about that again in the future because I think that could be very beneficial for people who maybe haven't gone to a shop in a while and find out they've got a local shop that's really got some stuff they need or could
And
help
I
them out.
and updates on the prizes. Our boy Byron Chambliss sent me a couple sweet SMD meters, like the voltage meters, two of them. So I just got those
Nice.
in. I hadn't even got to text them back and let them know they're in, but they're pretty sweet. And I've got the amp. I'm gonna do kind of an update video soon with the prizes. So
And I need to hit up some companies and see if they want to have their little
yeah,
logos put on there, and we can get some more stuff. Again, it's not really about you know the prize thing, but I think it'd still be cool to have some cool stuff. But yeah, thanks a lot for the donations. We do appreciate that. And what I'll probably do too, because I know Brad has given me some stuff, some of the meats, and if he's cool with it, I'll probably use some of that as donations too. And I'll just pretty much say it's from him because it is.
yeah. Blame Big D for my new car audio addiction. Yeah.
Yep. Oh, cool, man. It's funny because when I look back through these old magazines, like I was talking about before, you can see like in the '90s, those jokers were this thick.
Yeah.
2000 got like this. 2002, 2003, the higher up it got in 2000, dude, by the end, they were only like 30 pages. I mean,
Yeah.
nothing to them. And you could pretty much just see everything just kind of falling away.
Yep.
And it's interesting to me because I never really thought about, I still don't really think about that much about how crazy it is that as small and as compact and as tight as this industry is right now, that they're still kicking it pretty good. They're still doing all
Yep.
right.
Yep.
Because I definitely thought years ago when all that stuff got integrated with cars that it was just going to be dead. Nobody would want to upgrade anything in their car.
They're
But
finding a way, Oh, Dean and Fernando know every new car.
yeah,
Just
and
about they
speaking
know exactly what model number you need and everything, man.
yeah, speaking of that, I watched probably half of his 2 hour video that he had to submit for his installer trusted installer of the year or whatever it is award.
Yeah.
That's actually that's a really good video he did because he pretty much went through a whole scenario about how to fix a guy's car, kind of like Steve Mead did,
Yeah.
the one where the guy's car was all busted up and they just did a horrible job and he has to go through and show you what he has to do to clean it out. Videos like that to me are really interesting to see what these guys have to do on a daily basis and their troubleshooting methods for figuring out how to fix a problem that somebody else created. And again, I cannot believe the things that people will do to cut corners. It's just
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah. They'll do it, man. They'll just put two pieces of wire together with zip ties. It's more common than you think. Our buddy Jesse says if there were a shop here in Tulsa that would meet her, I'd buy something. Jesse, I live in Fort Smith, just outside of Fort Smith, and hit me up. I can meet her it for you personally. That's only it's an hour, less than 2 hours away.
He says, but I know he meant buy. He says, Big D, buy an RV, set up it as a museum, and travel to shows, charge an admission to enter. Would that be like a fast pass,
Yeah.
Robert?
Hey, man.
If you, it takes 5 tickets to see the
Yeah.
old school museum.
You're laughing, but our buddy JDR is kind of working some kind of thing like that. He's gotten ideas of it, anyways.
Hey, I mean,
JDR and Itchy, the dynamic duo.
yep. I mean, it definitely got some stuff to show off.
Yep.
That's funny. The Punch 30 video. Really? That's the one that you saw that brought you. Oh, that's funny, man. That was like a horrible video. I don't even remember did I even dyno test the Punch 30? I don't even remember, but I look back at some of my original videos, man, they are so bad. I don't even know
I
how.
missed your old radio voice.
Oh, you want to hear it?
Yeah. Big D Wiz.
Spartan Innovations here.
Oh man.
charge for demos like JP. No, he's just stirring the pot, man.
Yeah.
He's
That
laughing all
dude's
the way
a
to the bank.
he's a marketing genius. I'll tell you that.
No doubt.
Let's see, Zapco. So they're kind of been hit and miss recently. Um, Ryan tested one that didn't do very good. You tested one that done okay. Was one of their high end.
That was like an $1,100 amp,
Yeah,
and that was one of the times when they contacted me and said, "Hey, we'll give this to you and you can give it away."
yeah,
And so I'm sitting here going, "Let's see, I make a video, I give away the amp, I get nothing but the views, and those videos never do that good on views.
no,
Probably literally made maybe 50, 75, maybe $100 total on
yeah.
my 12 hours of work."
That's what people don't realize. Like giveaway videos are terrible. They don't help your channel at all, really. I
Oh,
mean, all they are is work for you and you having to pay to ship something out.
yes.
Basically, that's why I like to give away stickers. It cost me 50 cents to send you a sticker, plus whatever it cost me to get it printed. So
Yeah. Yeah, giveaways are they're not good. I
yeah,
mean, it you hate to say that because you want to help people out, and sometimes
yeah,
I've had people hit me up and say, "Hey, my son is getting this, and we don't have money to buy him stuff for Christmas." And I've sent people amps, I've sent people speakers, I've sent people all kind of stuff before. And sometimes I just kind of have an urge, whatever, and or somebody leaves a really cool comment sometime in a video, I'll contact them and say, "Hey, I'm going to send you something." But I don't like the contest part of the giveaway.
yeah,
It's just not beneficial.
yeah,
The 650, I mean, I get asked this every week. The Power 650. So the reason I don't have a video on that yet is because a lot of the reason why I don't have videos on certain things, because I got permission from Wayne Harris to use some of his clips in the video. I got this grandiose idea of doing something, and I've only done a part of it. And then when I tested the amp, the channels had some differences. Like, you got 111 watts and you got 130. That's really not a very big difference, but when people see it, they freak out.
yeah,
And there was some channel differences with the Power 650 when I bridged it, and I was just like, man, I don't want to have to explain this. And it just got to that, I'll put it on the side burner and get to it later.
yeah,
And I just never have gotten back. But the Power 650 is powerful. Mead tested the 300, and I've tested the 1000, but the 650 is not far from the 1000 power wise. It's strong.
yeah. And then I guess you got to talk about this earlier a little bit.
Yep.
So my portion on that is whatever you may have thought of Coleman. Like he was in here in this chat, supported us, supported me on my channel. So I got a lot of respect for that. And, he built a company up from scratch. And the dude was 20, 20 something years old when he done that. So that's crazy, man. So it is sad. And I actually was sad when I heard that news and I was shocked. So yeah, it sucks.
Yep. Yeah, and I did talk about it a little bit at the beginning, and I actually read the statement from Coleman's father that he put on the CT Sounds page. And yeah, and none of us are perfect, um, but 27 years old is not enough life for somebody to do all the things that they need to do, all the things they want to do. But he did a lot of things in 27 years, and like Rob said, he came on here. I don't know how many different times. I mean, there was a few times he came on. He just gave us like hundreds and hundreds of dollars of super chats, and he would engage with the people in the chat room.
Yep.
We've heard so many positive things about him, and then of course you've heard some of the other side, the dark side stuff too.
Yeah.
And some people have personally dealt with it, but again, when all this stuff was brought up, it's like you have to think about this dude doesn't have an opportunity to make up for all the things that he may have done.
Yeah.
So 27 is way too young. Whatever happened to him, just hate to think his family has to deal with it, his girlfriend has to deal with it, friends have to deal with it.
Yeah.
It's just bad. There's no other way to put it. It's a bad situation, and we hate that it happened. We hate to lose anybody, but
Yeah.
hate to think that anything of his situation was anything that was outside of the normal. But
Yeah. And when he supported my channel, there was never a discussion about anything, He's like, "Hey, I just want to support your channel." Not say something about my subwoofers, or he's like, "I see you used some of the products already. I've had the little M amps." He's like, I like your content. I want to support your stuff." So, I mean, that's huge respect, because more shadier people might have had other intentions with that. They just want to support the channel as well as get his name out on my channel. So,
yeah, I will say, without saying, that there are shady people in the car audio industry, goes without saying. But I think, how do you say this? Some are out there that are not known as well as others. We'll put it that way.
yeah.
And Rob and I and other people who make videos, we have to be extremely careful with who we associate ourselves with. And you've heard things about certain people, heard things about other people, but I think there's some out there that you haven't heard about because we don't talk about it, that we won't work with. And I don't know. It's hard for me not to say, but I'm not going to say. I just leave
Yeah.
it at that.
Well, and, that's like a company like Rockville. I reached out to Mike from Rockville, and I said, "Hey, I'm doing this old school SPL challenge, man. I was thinking about using one of your subs, if you guys be willing to send them to me." And I told him, "Yeah, I'd like maybe a 15 or two 12s, one or the other." And he come back, he's like, "You know what? I can send all three." I was like, "That's awesome, man." There wasn't no like, make sure it's a good review, even though they've had some some gaffes happen from sending them out before. He's like, "Yeah, send them out." So, respect.
Yeah. And Rockville Sam's comment is absolutely the way that when we posted that on Facebook, we wanted it to be. We didn't want to hear the negative stuff. We just wanted
Yeah.
people to know, A, that he was gone, and B, it was way too soon for sure.
Well, what a somber note to end on.
Yeah, I know it is, isn't it? Ken,
Oh my goodness.
Ken says his shirt's got holes in it. You've been wearing that thing a lot, man. That's supposed to be a quality piece of merchandise. It's
Yeah.
not supposed to have holes in it.
He's putting it to work, man. I put my OSS shirt to work when I'm out there. I mean, it's if you don't use a car audio shirt to build a box in or do an install in, it's not a real car audio shirt.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
yeah. I just bought a couple because Steve Mead's birthday was just the other day, so I bought a couple to send to him. Um, so
We need
hopefully,
to 12-volt talk shirts. I'm working on it. I'm working on something in the background. Not shirts yet, but I'm working on some logo stuff.
any sneak look ahead for next week?
We'll let you know on
It'll be Wednesday.
Tuesday. Tuesday. Oh my
Maybe
gosh.
we'll have some of you guys join us next week if we can't get a, a,
That I'd
a
like to do
guest
that
host.
too. Like have the guests like you guys each. It's like rapid fire. We're doing 5 guests, 10 minutes each. Tell us. Let's talk about what you want to talk about for 10 minutes. What do you guys think about that? That'd be fun.
Yeah, yeah. The shirts are available up to 5X. If you go to the YouTube page, if you're on my YouTube channel, any of the videos, there's links there to go to Teespring, and they go up to 5X.
I will tell you that the Teespring shirts that I ordered run a little bit large. because I got an extra long, and it ended up being a little bit too long, so I don't even wear that one.
Huh?
Did you notice that when you ordered yours?
No,
Or is it
no.
true to size when you got it?
Mine's. I can't. They don't have tall sizes in the shirts that I like. I like the premium ones, the ones that are
Yeah,
really super soft, and they only do regular sizes. They don't do the tall, which is a bummer because I need a 2XT. But
yeah,
Patreon, no, we. I don't think we're gonna do Patreon for 12-volt talk. I don't think.
no. No, we don't want to. We don't want to triple dip on you. You know, we each have our
Yeah,
own Patreon, and then we have the super chats. So I think we kind of feel that's good enough because we don't. Yeah, we don't want to triple dip.
yeah,
I don't know any other way to say it.
yeah. For sure. All right, homies. So we got to let Mr. Rob go eat some dinner, and
Yeah,
yeah. So y'all come hang out with us again next week.
yeah.
We will do some more, have
Topics
some
to
more
discuss.
country talking,
Yeah,
bad pronunciation self.
yeah. And I might be late again, so maybe we'll
Yep.
start at 7:15 next week or something like that.
Yeah, I'll figure out something to fill in.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Appreciate it. We will see you next week. Thanks as always for joining us. We do appreciate you hanging out with us as always. We'll see you next week. Peace out.
Adios.